Hello, it's Elena
And Heather
from the local lowdown, and we're here with Isabella Mowers outside of the Blue Lounge. Welcome.
Hello.
All right. So could you just introduce yourself and tell us any backstory you have with music?
Sure. So I'm Isabella Mowers. I started doing music technically since I was a little tot. My dad was a musician, so he kind of got me into it for like a really long time. And then when I was 15, I started playing the guitar. And when I was 16, he kind of brought me out into his shows because he does music back home. So yeah, I've just been doing it ever since then.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. And we already kind of know each other a little bit because you're a music ed major here and I used to be. So you've mentioned that before and that you're a music major here at Fredonia. Has that helped your voice in any way? And do you think it's improved your performance skills at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, even like the people back home, when I go back home and do gigs, they tell me, you know, your voice has improved so much. I can feel it in my voice. I feel like I sing a lot healthier now. I'm not straining nearly as much as I do. I still do it, but you know, it's, yeah. But yeah, it's definitely very, very beneficial for me. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And you've played multiple live shows last summer. What were some of your favorite memories from these shows and experiences?
It definitely has to be singing with my dad's band. My dad's in a rock band, so we do like all sorts of rock covers, and I love doing that. And if I had a band myself, that's what I would be doing. But yeah, I'd say definitely playing with them and just being with my dad the whole time, you know, it's just such a nice bonding experience for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to go a little bit more on some of the gigs, you played BJ's this past October, and that was just like a blast for everyone in the audience. I was there. It was a great show. But what was it like to have a crowd respond so intensely at a performance like that?
It was honestly like overwhelming with like, I mean, just happiness and like, I just felt so accepted in that environment. And Fredonia itself just kind of is a very accepting place of music and new musicians. I'd never had an audience sing along with me in that way, let alone have an audience that big. So it was an incredible experience that I will never forget. Yeah.
That is awesome. I was also at that show, and it was so much fun.
Thank you so much.
So we've noticed that you love covering some oldies and some new songs. It seems that you cover one song quite a bit, which is What's Up by Four Non-Blondes. What is your connection to this song?
Well, I know that it's public knowledge that like everybody knows that song and everybody's gonna sing the chorus at least.
Fair.
But actually, like my dad showed me that song when I was younger, and Four Non-Blondes are a power band. You know, they're crazy good, and yeah, that was like one of the first songs that I learned on guitar because it's only 3 chords, so it's super easy to learn, and yeah, I just really enjoy having the audience kind of get in on it.
Yeah, and I think it's really fun as well for anyone listening, I'm sure, as an audience member to recognize something and to go along with it. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
But also along with your covers, you performed quite a bit of original music, and in particular, Wasted Time at that one BJ show in particular. And that really stood out for a lot of people. I remember talking to you the next day about it. What was it like to start performing your own original songs?
It was terrifying. I'd tried writing songs in the past, but it never really worked out for me. And then I did a gig here at the Blue Lounge, and they required at least 2 originals. So I was like, well, I'll knock out 2 songs in a couple weeks, I guess. And that just happened to kind of come out. And but yeah, it's definitely very scary to get up there and, you know, put yourself out there. Sure. Yeah. But it's also really awesome to have people tell me like, oh, I remember, you know, your one lyric, you know, the bad lyric, right, but yeah.
The non-FCC.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really cool to have people kind of sing along and stuff.
On your Instagram in October, it said to keep an eye out for some possible EPs dropping in the future. Do you want to share about what you've been working on?
Yeah, so I'm getting pretty close to finishing my first album, and I'm getting ready to release a single hopefully soon. I've been going through some vocal trouble in this semester. I had laryngitis and then a string of other things that I'm still recovering from. But yeah, I'm really hopeful that at least by summertime at the latest, something will be out there. Awesome. So keep an eye out.
I definitely will.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to kind of combine 2 questions into one here.
Do it.
So first, do you have, besides this first look at this album that we're hearing about here. Do you have any like possible gigs or anything in the future that you're thinking of having?
Well, currently I have scheduled on May 15th. It's a backyard like music festival party.
Nice.
So it's not, like a general public type of thing. I don't know, but yeah, somebody reached out to me on Instagram and asked if I would do that. But as far as that goes, not anything right now, but this summer I'll be doing all sorts of stuff with my dad back home. So
yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting off as well. When you were talking about how you did some gigs with your dad in a rock band. Your solo career has had a lot of success in the past few months as well, but we were all curious. Do you have any interest in starting up a band for future gigs as well as your own solo gigs?
Yes, absolutely I do. I tried to get a band together at the beginning of the semester, but it is very difficult because, as a college student, you don't really ever have time. But yeah, definitely a band for the future would be ideal for me. I'd really like to get some other musicians up there playing with me.
Oh yeah. That sounds like a really good time.
Yeah, the solo stuff is fun, but it is it's just me, and I just love working with other people. It's just it's cool to give other people the spotlight too.
Yeah. Well, thank you for chatting with us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, you are incredibly talented. Thank you for chatting with us. It's been Heather
and Elena
from the Local Lowdown, and we will see you in the next field interview.
But you rescued me from reaching for the fire.